Hey, we're looking at Algebra 2.4, monitoring progress, numbers 1 to 8. We're going to be solving, the first four are solving multi-step inequalities, a lot like solving multi-step equations. And the second four, we're solving inequalities with variables on both sides. So let's get started. First, we have 4b minus 1 is less than 7. So first thing we got to do is we want to get the term that has the variable in it by itself. So we need to get rid of this other term here. So we're going to add 1 to both sides of the inequality. And then that's going to leave us with 4b less than 8. Then, now that we have the term isolated, we're going to divide by 4 to get rid of the coefficient. And that's going to leave us with b less than 2. So now we're going to go half that. We find 2 on our number line, and we want all the things that are less than 2. Since we're not talking about 2 itself here, right? B less than 2, and 2 is not less than 2, so we leave the circle open. Next, we've got 8 minus 9c greater than or equal to negative 28. Again, we want to get the term that has the variable by itself. We want to isolate that, so we got to get rid of all the other terms. So we're going to subtract 8 from both sides, and that's going to land us with, notice, on negative 9c, that negative stays where it's at with the 9c. Negative 28 minus 8 is negative 36. And then we're going to divide by negative 9 on both sides, leaving us with c. And remember, you have to reverse the inequality when you multiply or divide by negative. Negative 36 divided by 9 is a positive 4. Go ahead and graph that. There's 4. And to go back, we wanted everything that was less than 4, but also equal to 4, less than or equal to, so we fill in the bubble there. All right, next. We've got n over negative 2 plus 11 is greater than 12. Again, we want to get the term that has the variable. We want to isolate that by getting rid of all the other terms. So we're going to subtract 11 on both sides. That's going to leave us with n over negative 2 greater than, let's see, 12. Take away 11 is 1. Alright, so we're going to mark the negative 2, and we're interested in everything that is less than that negative 2, but not equal to, so we're not going to fill in the bubble. Alright, next. We've got 6 is greater than 5 minus v over 3. So we want to get the term that has the variable in it by itself. We're going to subtract 5 on both sides first. 6 minus 5 is 1. And that leaves us with 1 and negative v over 3. Over here, greater than or equal to. Notice that the negative sign stays with the term there. Next, we're going to multiply by negative 3 on both sides, and we end up with negative 3 over here. And notice the inequality reverses because we multiplied by negative, and we get v on the other side. So negative 3 is less than or equal to v, or v is bigger than negative 3. And we're going to mark the negative 3 there, and v is everything that is bigger than that. But it was also or equal to, so it includes the 3 right there. All right, moving on. All right, so now we have an equation with variables on, inequality with variables on both sides. So first thing we want to do is we want to get all the variables on one side. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 3x from both sides. And that's going to leave us with 2x over here minus 12 less than or equal to negative 4. All right, now we're going to go ahead and just treat this like a regular multi-step inequality. We're going to first isolate the term that has the variable in it by getting rid of all the other terms. So we're going to add 12 to both sides. And we're going to end up with 2x less than or equal to negative 4 plus 12 is positive 8. And then we're going to, I'm going to do a little, kind of move stuff up here a little bit. One moment. Okay. So then we're going to have to divide by 2 on both sides, and we get x is less than or equal to 4. Alrighty, moving on. Alright, here we're going to have to use a little distributive property. So we got 2k minus 10 less than 2k plus 5. We want to get all the variables on one side, so we're going to subtract 2k from over here. Of course, you have to do the same on the other side. And that's going to leave us with, let's see, negative 10 less than 5. Now, this is just like when we dealt with equations. We end up with a true statement at the end and no more variables. So this means that all real numbers. So anything that we would have put in for k in the first place would have made this inequality true. Any number at all. Alright, next. Again, we're going to have to use our distributive property. We've got, let's see, negative 12n plus 4 greater than, oops, that's just greater than, not or equal to, negative 12n plus 5.2. I want to get all the variables over on the left-hand side, so I'm going to subtract, not, I suppose, whoop, not, we're going to add 12n to both sides, of course. We end up with 4, that's a positive 4, greater than 5.2. Here, again, is a situation where all the variables have gone away, but this time we're left with a statement that's not true. 4 is not greater than 5.2. That means no solution. That means that no matter what number I would have substituted for n in the original inequality, I would have never come up with a true statement, no matter what. Alright, next. See here, we're again going to have to do a little distributive property. And we end up with 6a minus 3 greater than or equal to 10a minus 11. Again, I want to get all the variables on one side. I'm going to subtract 6a on this side and subtract 6a on this side. And the reason I chose to do it this way instead is because I think it'll be easier. I won't be dealing with any negatives this way. So I've got negative 3, or no negative terms of the variable, no negative coefficients on the variable. Let's see, negative 3 is greater than or equal to 4a minus 11. Now, we want to isolate the term that has the variable, so we're going to add 11 to both sides. And that's going to land us with negative 3 plus 11 is positive 8, greater than or equal to 4a. Okay, so let's kind of move everything up just a little bit here. Then, to get the variable by itself, we'll divide by its coefficient. Of course, we have to do the same thing on both sides. 8 divided by 4 is 2, greater than or equal to a. And we're done.